Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. If you would like to support me or the channel in any way, you can do so by liking this video and subbing to the channel. Now, we actually have a lot to talk about today, guys, so I'm not going to waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into it, starting with Ramon Dino, one of the most fan favorite athletes I've witnessed personally. Man, this guy has some of the most passionate Brazilian fans of all time, but this guy actually looks incredible to me, and I know I haven't talked about him much on the channel. I've done a lot of defending Urs Kalasinski, but honestly, if Ramon brought the conditioning to the Mr. Olympia that he brought to the Expo Pro Super Show, I believe he could have placed ahead of Urs, and I know he had problems getting to the Mr. Olympia, and it played a factor in the way that he looked, man. But this guy honestly looks incredible. The only knocks I have on him is from behind, especially in the lower half. He looks a little thin, and especially with guys like Urs and Chris having like great hamstrings, it's really going to stand out next to Ramon, and Ramon could just work on his posing. Once Ramon pretty much transcends himself into a complete classical poser, so to say, he does hit some classical poses, but even in this video, you guys can see that he kind of hits more bodybuilding poses. So the better he's able to present his physique, I believe that's what's going to allow him to move up in his placings. Do I believe Ramon Dino can win the Arnold Classic? I do not believe that anyone is going to pass Terrence Ruffin, Breon Ainsley anytime soon. I believe they're probably going to place as high as second and third until they retire like Chris Bumstead. But I'm very excited to see what Ramon can do, and hopefully he can shock me. And speaking of the Arnold Classic, guys, I actually want to talk about William Bonak, who put this up not too long ago, maybe about a day or two ago. Not sure if it's actually recent, but this is pretty much the most I've seen of Bonak, so I decided to put it in a video. And this actually looks insane, guys. This is actually only 30 minutes apart. He said he did 30 minutes in a steam room. And to the right, he almost looks a little fuller, but definitely looks a lot more conditioned, man. So let me know in the comment section below, do you guys think William Bonak can come in and win this Arnold Classic? Now, keep in mind, William Bonak never lost his Arnold Classic title. He was unable to get to the Arnold Classic where Nick Walker won. I mean, arguably, Nick Walker probably would have beat him there, but we never got to see it. But William hasn't lost the title yet. So let me know if you guys think William can actually win that title. And in our next story of the day, man, I actually want to talk about Justin Rodriguez, who has been putting up a lot of updates lately, man. And Justin always puts up a lot of updates, so I'm going to talk about him a lot in these videos. But in all honesty, the closer we get to the Arnold Classic, man, Justin Rodriguez is just looking better and better. And I know one of the top guys that people have placing second or third at the Arnold Classic is going to be Brett Wilkin. But the more I look at Justin, it kind of makes me question how high will Brett place, because one of Brett's main knocks, maybe the only knock you can say about Brett, is he's narrow. But Justin is as wide as a house, man. And I honestly believe that Justin could definitely edge out someone like Brett Wilkin. And I mean, there's not a knock against Brett. You know, his best place in the day was second place at the Chicago Pro. Justin has won a pro show, and he has placed top 10 at the Olympia twice. But once again, not too many people talking about Justin Rodriguez, man. But from what I'm looking at, Justin can definitely be up there fighting with Brandon for that 2022 Arnold Classic title, in my personal opinion, man. And Justin did the Indy Pro where he won, New York Pro placing second, Arnold Classic placing fourth, and Mr. Olympia placing eighth. He probably only had about 2 weeks to maybe a month to even after the Mr. Olympia before he began to prep for the Arnold Classic, man. So Justin is just a workhorse. He's coming into his own, and I'm pretty sure that his places are going to continue to improve, man. I'm very excited to see what he's going to bring to the stage. And also, speaking of Brett Wilkin, Matt Jansen posted up this update of Brett Wilkin about 2 or 3 days ago, man. And honestly, I'm not sure anyone else hasn't commented on this, but I wonder would Brett Wilkin look better in the front double bicep if he crunched down, kind of like Nick Walker did. I believe him holding his front double like this makes his torso look a little long, and it looks a little odd. But other than that, man, Brett looks insane, man. Aesthetics, conditioning, mass with class. Brett is also an amazing poser. Not too crazy, but definitely does hit some good poses. But I'm excited to see what he can bring to the stage. And I'm not just saying 100% that Justin Rodriguez will beat him, but I don't think, of course, it's not going to be a walk for Brett to take second place. But I'm not saying Brett is being overhyped, but it's definitely going to be a dogfight for this second place position. But I'm excited to see what Brett is going to bring. And in our next story of the day, this was actually posted up today by Carlos Thomas Jr. I'm not sure if it was actually today, but pretty sure it was within the last week. And Carlos looks insane, man, but I don't think I've actually talked about Carlos since he won the NPC National. So how do you guys feel Carlos Thomas Jr. would do as a pro in the IFBB? Now, honestly, NSP, Nick Strength and Power, mentioned that Carlos could compete in 212 because he was on stage at around 216 or 218. And I honestly believe that 212 would be a great look for him, but he might not be able to grow and may not be able to, put on the mass that his body may necessarily need. And I don't mean any hate whatsoever towards Carlos Thomas Jr., no hate at all. But this is one of the worst backs I have ever seen in my life. And hopefully he can improve on this. And of course his back looks even worse because his physique is just so amazing and everything is so developed and his back is so underdeveloped. I hate to say it like that, guys, but I honestly just had to be straightforward with it. Like every time I see this guy from behind, it's just like, but I know it has to be something genetic because I'm pretty sure this guy works pretty hard, man. Look at his legs. Look at his arms. He honestly has everything except for the back, man. And when you're a genetically gifted athlete, I mean, missing out on one body part isn't that bad. I mean, you have great arms. You have great midsection, great calves, great quads. I mean, hey, man, you can't have it all. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys think Carlos Thomas Jr. would do as a pro? Do you guys think he should compete in the ranks of the open class, or do you guys think he may stack up better in the 212? I think he looks a little better as a 212. And the last story of the day, we're actually going to be talking about Quinton Eriya, also known as Quint Beastwood. Quint took second at the Toronto Pro Super Show to Joel Thomas. A couple of people thought that was arguable. And he also took fifth at the 2021 Romania Pro, where Rafael Brandea won that show, I believe, and Samson Dowda placed a very close second to him. But these are just some physique updates, man, of Quint around 292 pounds. And Quint is incredible, man, one of the best structures in the sport of bodybuilding. As I've said numerous times, he looks almost like a bigger and better Samson Dowda, to be honest. And Samson also has one of the best structures in bodybuilding. And it's just insane, man. I'm very excited to see what Quint is going to do in the future. I'm not sure if he's going to shut it down for this season and go ahead and try to put on a little size. He also just needs a little more time because he needs muscle maturity. And, of course, he doesn't have to rush anything. I'm not sure if he's still working with Dorian over at HD Muscle, but with Regan leaving Dorian and HD and kind of excelling, I know Keon has also left HD. I wonder if HD might be holding Quinton Eriya back. Now, I know nothing of that, but I just know two other athletes have left, and Regan Grimes has excelled since he left HD Muscle. But that's going to be the video for today, you guys. Actually was a lot to talk about today. Feels good to put out in the news video because it's actually been a while. Bodybuilding news been kind of dry since the Olympia, but I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video, man. Like, comment, and sub. I'm out.